So on the one hand, Trudeau is regulating the internet through the CRTC. On the other hand, he is paying a whole new cottage industry to denounce criticisms of him and his favorite ideas as disinformation. And disinformation, I mean, I've heard that word before this latest fad. When I was a kid growing up, I used to read, I know it sounds funny, but a magazine called Aviation Week and Space Technology, because it was really cool when you were a kid to see a magazine about cool fighter jets. And that's what it was. Wow. It was just like a magazine about fighter jets. I mean, that sounds sort of nerdy, but I think a lot of boys are into that. And that's why I first discovered the word disinformation. And there was a debate in this magazine because the U.S. military would deliberately put false information out about the capabilities of their fighter jets to confuse and confound Soviet spies. What's the speed of a jet? What's the range of it? How many missiles can it hold? How many bullets? And the U.S. government would put out sort of harmless lies, harmless domestically, but it would be to hopefully trick the commies. And that was called disinformation. That's when I first heard the word. Deliberately putting false information out to confuse someone. And it was obviously a legitimate part of spy versus spy. Trudeau has taken that word and now uses it for anyone who disagrees with him. That's not disinformation. It's not disinformation to disagree with him. It's an opinion.
Yes.
It's the other side of the story. And by the way, saying that your critics are disinformationists implies that you always have your facts straight. Yep. When in fact Trudeau gets them wrong a lot of times. A lot of his statements about the vaccine being 100% safe and effective and stops transmission, all of that was wrong. I'm not even going to call it disinformation because I think Trudeau believed it at the time. Disinformation, like I say, from my childhood reading these magazines, was a deliberate attempt to trick someone. Trudeau's critics are not trying to trick anyone.
Yeah.
They're trying to push back. So here he is. I'd like to show you an announcement where not only is he passing a law that will allow him to regulate the internet, but he is also spending millions of tax dollars on the disinformation industry, by which I mean people who will go around and accuse his critics of being disinformationists.
Unbelievable.
Take a look at this. Do we have it teed up, sort of?
Canada is investing to support the International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Assistance and other groups that are promoting free, fair, and inclusive elections globally. We're fighting harmful content online and promoting inclusivity in the digital world. In 2022, we chaired the Freedom Online Coalition, which helped defend internet freedom and addressed internet shutdowns perpetrated by Iran. We've also bolstered the G7 Rapid Response Mechanism aimed at countering foreign threats to democracy, including disinformation. And today we can announce that we're investing over $50 million more in projects and initiatives to strengthen democracy around the world.
Do you really think that Justin Trudeau, who invoked martial law, deployed riot horses, shot our reporter Alexa Lavoie, because there was some horn honking going on that embarrassed him? Do you really think that Justin Trudeau has any role at a strengthening democracy conference? And when he says he wants to stop harmful content online and defend internet freedom, well, you can't do those two things at the same time. Because defending internet freedom means you've got to listen to things you don't like to hear. And he calls anything he doesn't like to hear harmful. Yeah, harmful to his political ambitions.
You know, that is exactly the note I made, Ezra. Harmful content online. As always, the devil is in the details. So what is the definition of harmful? Does he consider fair criticism of his government and his government policies as being harmful? I mean, that's a hell of a word to pin down, isn't it?
Yeah. I think that today is a dark day for internet freedom. Mm-hmm. I would like to promise you, our viewers, that we are going to fight this, not just editorially and journalistically and politically, but also legally. We've had a team of lawyers with one of our favorite law firms studying this for actually a year now as it's worked its way through the Parliament, including the Senate. And we will challenge this because who else will?
Yeah.
Do you think the Toronto Star is going to challenge this? Do you think the CBC is going to challenge this? C-18 is another one of these 4 censorship bills that Trudeau's pushing through. It would require Google, YouTube, Facebook to pay money to Trudeau's favorite journalists. I think you might see some internet companies pushing back on that, but I do not see the same pushback on C11. Actually, that's not true. Twitter filed a brief with the government, and this was before the Elon Musk took over. So this is even the old Twitter said what Trudeau's planning to do is they've only seen it in North Korea.
That's a clip from something we call Rebel News Daily. It's our daily live stream hosted by my friend David Menzies, but the show also includes a rotating cast of hosts and special guests, including me. It's a great way for us to talk about the news of the day as the news is happening in an unscripted fashion, and it's an awesome way for you to interact with us as well. We stream every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Mountain, wherever you find Rebel News. See you there.